You're at home, alone, doing exactly what you want to do, and you feel good, completely at peace. No guilt, no boredom, just calm. But then someone asks, "Don't you get lonely?" And suddenly you're the one who has to explain yourself, as if there's something wrong with actually enjoying your own company. Here's the truth they don't tell you. Being alone and being lonely are not the same thing. One is a wound. The other might just be a superpower. And the difference matters more than you think. The mistake society makes. For decades, we treated solitude like a red flag. If you preferred being alone, something was wrong. You're antisocial, broken, running from something. But in 2016, researchers at the University of Buffalo found something different. They discovered that not everyone who seeks solitude is hiding. Some people are genuinely wired to prefer it, and those people aren't damaged, they're just different. The study separated people into two groups: those who avoid connection because they fear rejection or anxiety, and those who simply find solitude more fulfilling than constant social interaction. The first group struggles. The second group thrives. But here's what makes it complicated. Both look the same from the outside. Both spend time alone. Both skip social events. Both seem antisocial. But the internal experience is completely different. Why some brains prefer solitude? If you're someone who genuinely enjoys being alone, your brain processes social interaction differently. It's not about hating people. It's about how your nervous system responds to stimulation. Extroverts get a dopamine hit from social interaction. Their brain lights up. They feel energized, recharged. The more people, the better. But if you're wired differently, that same interaction doesn't energize you. It drains you. Not because the people are bad, not because you're weak, but because your brain is processing more, noticing more, filtering more input, and that takes energy. So after a full day of work, meetings, conversations, being around people, your system is exhausted, and the only thing that restores you is silence, solitude, time alone to let your mind settle. This isn't avoidance, it's maintenance, like sleep, like food. Your brain needs it to function. The types of solitude. Not all alone time is created equal, and this is where it gets important. There are different reasons people seek solitude, and some are healthier than others. Some people choose solitude to recharge, to think, to create, to process. They can connect when they want to. They have people they care about, but they also need time alone, and when they get it, they feel restored. Others use solitude as protection, not because they prefer it, but because connecting feels too risky, too painful, too overwhelming. So they withdraw, not towards themselves, but away from others. And that aloneness doesn't feel peaceful, it feels like hiding. The difference is this: one moves towards solitude, the other runs from connection. One feels like freedom, the other feels like safety. Both are valid, but only one is sustainable. The test. So how do you know which one you are? Ask yourself this: when you're alone, are you with yourself? Or are you just not with others? If you're reading, creating, thinking, learning, pursuing something that matters to you, you're in solitude. You're actively engaging with your inner world. But if you're alone and numb, scrolling, avoiding, killing time until you have to face people again, that's not solitude, that's isolation. And isolation over time eats away at you. Here's another test. Can you connect when you want to? Do you have people you trust? People you'd reach out to if you needed them? If yes, your solitude is probably healthy. If no, it might be protection. And one more. When someone invites you somewhere and you decline, how do you feel? Relieved or guilty and ashamed? Relief means you're honoring your needs. Shame means you might be avoiding something deeper. When it's not a problem. If you're someone who loves being alone and you're happy, functional, and capable of connection when it matters, you're fine. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need more friends. You don't need to force yourself to enjoy parties. You don't need to become an extrovert. You just need people to stop treating your preference like a disorder. Some of the most creative, thoughtful, self-aware people in the world prefer solitude. They think deeply, they notice patterns, they create meaning, and they do it best when they're alone. That's not weakness, that's clarity. When it might be. But if you're alone because you're afraid, because people have hurt you, because it's easier to avoid than to risk being seen, that's different. And that's not something to judge, it's something to notice. Because hiding in solitude doesn't heal the wound, it just keeps it quiet. If you're using aloneness to numb, to escape, to avoid the discomfort of being known, eventually that stops working. Because the need for connection doesn't go away, it just gets buried. And buried needs don't disappear, they fester. The truth. Here's what matters. You're allowed to prefer being alone. You're allowed to skip the party. You're allowed to go home, close the door, and do exactly what you want without explaining yourself. But you're also allowed to want connection, to need people, to feel lonely sometimes even when you love solitude. Both are human, both are real, and neither one makes you broken. The question isn't whether you like being alone. The question is whether that aloneness serves you or protects you from something you're not ready to face. If it's the first, keep going. You're fine. If it's the second, be gentle with yourself. And maybe, when you're ready, let someone in. You don't have to choose between solitude and connection. You just have to know which one you're running toward and which one you're running from.